All right, so now we're going to start with the presentations. Again, my name is Leslie Palotas. I wanted to start and kind of set the tone of why I'm here.
Recording in progress.
First, I do want to acknowledge that I will be reading my presentation because I want to be thorough in setting the collaborative stage for this workshop series. I won't have slides as I invite you to focus on my words with minimum distractions. I'm involved because I've built relationships and networks across the state with the personal goal of understanding both challenges and successes in rural folks' efforts to improve their community. I worked for 7 years as a volunteer, a government employee, a nonprofit employee, and now again as a volunteer to try to improve existing systems for mutual benefits of all community members. I have a basic understanding of the systems that government employees are legally bound to, and I also know that there are people working within those systems who genuinely want to improve the barriers and challenges that rural community members face in those systems. I have connections with the Ford Family Foundation and Foundations for a Better Oregon, and I am passionate about the rural community-informed work they support. I am grateful my design teammates here have allowed me to weave the Ford Family Foundation's rural community building approach into these workshops. This approach has been developed and fine-tuned for over 2 decades of rural community partnerships and feedback from across Oregon and Siskiyou County. I'll share links to resources from both the Ford Family Foundation and Foundations for a Better Oregon in the chat and in the follow-up emails that give more background on their impacts, including reasons why gathering to share stories of successes and challenges are foundational to building resilient and thriving rural communities. So why drinking water protection? I know that threats to basic human needs, such as safe drinking water, create strong emotions. On one hand, strong emotions like fear, anger, hate, frustration, and even excitement can limit folks' abilities to solve complex problems and empathize with others' lived experiences. On the other hand, folks working together to meet their community's shared human needs can build and strengthen relationships. I know there are many organizations, as we just heard, with funds or resources to help rural communities protect their drinking water sources and watersheds. And I am often overwhelmed by all the options that are out there. Not my expertise, though, I'll say. I recognize that folks and organizations are passionate about creating, supporting, and implementing effective, collaborative solutions instead of repeating divisive and inequitable patterns based on historical competitions for resources. And I also acknowledge that it will take more than one workshop to heal historical wounds, build trusted relationships, and solve everyone's challenges. So why these workshops? These workshops aim to build networks and understanding of existing funding opportunities, systems, laws, and support organizations to help folks move forward on solutions to their unique drinking water situations as quickly as possible. A byproduct of these workshops will be collecting and sharing your stories and challenges with grant-giving organizations, decision makers, and others who may have system shifting abilities. However, changing policies and laws isn't guaranteed and will take time, which is why these workshops prioritize helping folks work it within the systems we have now. These workshops alone can't change governmental policies and laws, nor definitively prove or disprove scientific facts. However, there are experts of all sorts in the room and in our extended networks, if folks would like to learn or discuss more about those areas outside of this workshop time. Please be respectful of the purpose of these workshops by avoiding off-topic rabbit holes in discussions and Q&A sessions. As one example, please refrain from debating scientific facts or political viewpoints. Your feedback after this workshop is important because it will help us improve our ongoing collaborative networking opportunity. I know we can't get things perfect the first time or ever, really, so please help us continually improve and grow these workshops around our community's needs. And to respect your valuable time, I want to pause here and invite you to silently reflect on why you are here today and if that is aligned with these workshop goals and design. You're still with us. Thank you for being here. And now to best set us up for success in the challenging, multifaceted, long-term work ahead, I ask that you all respect each other's time here by not interrupting, talking over others, or yelling. Not only is this to show respect to others, but our virtual participants' ability to hear relies on this. Please raise your hand during discussions and Q&A opportunities, and I recommend writing questions down if they come up during people's presentations. Listen to and respect each other's unique lived experiences. Solutions that incorporate the widest range of perspectives often have the most collaborative, lasting impacts. Many grants are now seeking these types of solutions. Don't assume that you know what others are thinking or feeling. Instead, use I statements to speak about your lived experience and express what you are thinking or feeling, and allow others to do the same. Respectfully ask for clarification if you don't understand what people are saying, thinking, or feeling. Acknowledge roles you've had and lessons you've learned in past challenges. While we can't change what has happened in the past, we can learn from it to not repeat mistakes or to minimize future challenges. Acknowledge and be accountable for what you can and what you can't bring to solutions. And to help us understand frustrations, we asked for constructive feedback instead of just negative criticism. So that means if you're making a critique or identifying a challenge you have faced, we encourage you to offer a realistic recommendation for improvement. If you don't yet have a specific recommendation, try sharing what has negatively affected you and what may help you succeed. I acknowledge it can be challenging to change communication patterns, especially when emotions are strong, and that is just one reason I chose to read my presentation today. So to help us best understand your perspectives and experiences, we may ask you for clarification on who you're speaking for, or if you have a recommendation after you share a critique or challenge. And again, thank you for being here and for all the community improving work you have already done and will continue to do with help from others here today.